Welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your co-host, Coach Ken, a.k.a. the professor, a.k.a. the doctor, alongside my lovely co-host with her. I like that choker you got on. You want to be choked?
I do want to be choked.
Oh,
No, I don't.
Chokey.
Anyway, welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations with the Grand Canions. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on another Thursday evening. We're here telling jokes. We have a guest in here tonight. I forgot he was in here. So guests, please disregard all of those things that you heard. Okay? Okay. All right. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I want to talk about last week.
Okay.
We'll get into last week's show. But before we do, I wanted to say, hey, welcome to the channel. If you like the channel and the kind of content we put out, we're up to almost 208,000, almost. We are rolling. Thank you all who have joined. If you like this content and you're not a subscriber, what we want you to do is hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we drop every time we drop some fire. All right, so last week, but before we get there, I got to tell the sponsor.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, y'all, for those of you who got the Pocket Communication Coach, and it is growing like crazy. Those of you who have never heard of it, it is the AI software, communication software. It is communication software that helps people communicate better. Yours truly developed it over the last year. It is fire. It is helping people in relationships communicate better, because the number one reason that relationships fail is because of uncommunicated expectation and needs. And if you have a problem with communicating, you need to go get Pocket Communication Coach. Go to pocketcommunicationcoach.com. They're the sponsor of this program.
I have a question for you. Have you ever held me accountable for something that you did not communicate?
Sure.
Okay. I just wanted to see where you was at.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody does it. And it's like there are things that I feel like you should know.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I? I know better now.
Right.
But years ago, I was like, well, why should I say anything? She should know. Because you can tell I just get attitude about it. And then you might say, what's wrong with you? You do it all the time. You do this, just do it now. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. How many of y'all do this? What's wrong with you, baby? Nothing. What's wrong? You sure? Nothing. Now, I know something is wrong because I've been with the woman, just like you know your partner.
How did this get flipped? What I'm trying to figure out.
No. I was just showing. I ain't trying to flip it on you.
Okay, so let's talk about last week.
Okay.
Last week's topic was...
Should she tell?
Should she tell? We had great response. We had a great response from that.
Some people were like, she should tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then others are like, why? Why tell?
Why tell?
And
Would you tell? Would you tell if you had popped two of my friends, like in the past, and we getting to know each other? They don't, would you tell?
There's a song, gal. He don't. She should. What is that song? I ain't. God, it's a song, Al, about don't tell, don't tell, don't tell. Yeah. Hey Taylor, you know what that song is? She said, Taylor, like, don't bring me in.
He said, don't tell, don't tell.
No.
I don't.
Anyway,
is
no.
That Gracie's Corner? I'm just.
I'm not. I wouldn't tell. Would you?
Oh.
I would tell in those circumstances from last week, but if I pop goes to weasel one of your friends or two of your friends before I met you, probably not. I probably wouldn't tell. Probably would, and I don't think. Because why though? Especially if I liked you, I wouldn't tell you.
That would be a reason to tell. So
That's
you get
the
everything
reason.
Out in the open.
See, listen to what you're saying.
Okay, we getting off.
We getting off track.
Okay,
We getting off track. Listen to what you're saying.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we have a letter from for this week. We have a letter.
Okay.
Can I see your glasses, please, sir?
Oh, absolutely. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. You have the flyest glasses.
I do. I
I love.
And you've copped a couple of
I
them.
do.
You've stolen some of
Can't
my
find those
glasses.
yellow ones. Don't they? May be in an
What
old
did you do
purse.
with them?
They might be in a purse or something.
And my pink ones.
No, I don't have your pink ones. I've never worn those. They look like Pepto Bismol. Did they come out?
No, it didn't come out.
I mean, you know how
No.
you say they're polished. It look milky.
Oh, what I be saying about them nails when they do that milky look. Yeah.
I don't have your pink ones. I've never worn your pink ones.
All right. Okay. What you got for me?
Dear Coach Ken and Karen, I need your help. I'm a 43-year-old man who has been married for 13 years. I love my wife, my family, and the life we have created, but I am not happy. You hear happy wife, happy life, but that's not true. I've always taken pride in how I take care of my home. I make sure everybody has their needs and wants met. And I'm starting to feel like it's a give-give relationship. Don't get me wrong, I have a wonderful wife. I just feel invisible, somewhat neglected. I feel like if I share how I feel, it will make me look weak. Men are supposed to suck it up and roll with the punches. How do I share with my wife that I need more time and intentional attention without sounding like I'm adding another chore or complaining?
Wow. That's actually one of the best letters that we've ever received, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Because I want to start this out by saying this. When people say happy wife, happy life, that's actually a lie.
He said it's not true. And
it is not true.
Why you say that?
Because
that's what you hear. You see it on T-shirts and bumper stickers. So why is it not true?
What we've done is we put an inordinate amount of pressure on men to make their wives happy. True happiness comes from the inside.
Right.
But the whole idea is when I make you happy, what he's done, that is my goal is to make you happy. And what happens is even that if that means neglecting myself, even if that means at the detriment of my own emotional and mental health. Because what he said was, I'm feeling something, but I can't say what I'm feeling because I'm perceived as weak if I were to, share my feelings.
I feel. So what would you say to him? And audience, I want to ask you in a minute, what advice you would give to him. What would you tell him, Ken? Because this is different.
This is different, and it's so very important. So what I will say is, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. First off, let's extinguish that quote and let's change it. And I heard somebody. I'm not the author of this one. I heard somebody say that happy spouse, happy house. And what that does is when we look at it from that perspective, we look at it from the perspective of I have just as much obligation to you, to myself, as to myself. So meaning that I gotta be self-care. I gotta look after I gotta do things for myself too. Because I often tell people, you can only love someone to the degree that you love yourself. And a lot of us don't love ourselves. So here's what we do to masquerade, not masquerade, to cope.
To cope
with not loving ourselves. We pour that love that was meant for ourselves into our children, into other people. And what we do is then we feel good.
Jobs.
Our
parents, just other things.
Other things.
We're constantly pouring.
And we make it okay to neglect ourselves. When I'm pouring into you, when I'm pouring into somebody else, when I'm giving them love, then it justifies to my mind why I don't put time into myself, why I don't love myself, why I don't do things for myself. All right, it's okay because I'm doing something for you.
I will say that, but that totally depletes you. I don't care if you're a woman or a man, that totally depletes you. And I will say, I have been there where I've been like totally depleted. You're pouring into your children. You're taking care of your parents. You're trying to be a great spouse. You know, in our case, we had grandchildren. So I'm trying to be everything to everybody, and I forgot to be anything to myself. And so I was walking around dry, like, ugh, that dry. I was dry. And
sound like your ass dry heaving right now. I mean, that's what it sounds
but
like.
here's the thing though, when you get to that point, or you should never get to that point, you should always take time to pour into yourself. But how does he tell her without, as he says, sounding weak or like he's complaining or adding something else to do?
All right. Number one, he's got to give himself permission to do it, permission to say it. Because a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to say something or do something. If he gives himself permission to say it to her, because if he doesn't say it, what's going to happen is resentment is going to continue to build inside of him. And never forget this, honey. Every seed planted grows into something. We just don't know what the seed's going to grow into. Does it grow into anger, bitterness, resentment, and ultimately it could be divorce?
Let me ask you a question. How does let's say you're the other person and somebody
Like the wife?
the wife,
Okay.
and your husband comes to you. How do I create a safe environment for him to share and to feel heard? How does one create that space when you're not used to that?
Okay. First, get you a coach so somebody can teach you how to do it.
Yes.
Get you a coach.
Coach Ken
Coach Ken
at
in the building.
gmail.com.
Coach Ken Canyon at Gmail. Coach Ken Canyon at gmail.com or CoachKenCanyon.com. The first thing you have to do, and I'm going to tell you want to create a safe space, is tell the person that you want to create a safe space. Now, you might say, well, what does that have to do with it? Because you start with the end in mind. And if you tell me that I want to do something for you, to you, for our relationship, what you then do is you plant the seed of the safe space before it ever manifested.
That's good.
Because everything starts with a thought, right? Starts with a thought. And if you don't plant the thought that the environment could be safe, that it might be safe, then I will never look for it to be safe. Do you follow me? So that's the first thing. The first thing you do is say, I want to create a safe space. I know we're not there yet. I know we maybe haven't been there, but that's where I want to go. Okay? And all right. And I'm gonna just give you one more for right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one more because I did a whole video on that. You want to create a safe space? Me and Taylor created a whole video on our YouTube channel. But the second thing, and these are in no particular order, but the second thing is you have to be willing to praise him for something that he tells you that he didn't have to tell you. You might be like, what? So for instance, it may not even be about, it may be like, hey, honey, I was thinking, I was worried about my mom or whatever. I was worried about my mom. She's getting older. And let's say he said that. He's never said that before. What I want you to do is praise him like this. Honey, thank you for sharing that. I know you didn't have to share it. You didn't have to share it. But I appreciate that. And I'm here to support you through it. Now, what is it? You know what it's like? It's like we give Mello a treat. The treat, when we give him a treat, when I say, good boy, and we give him a treat, he wants to do the same thing that got him the treat.
So he wants to continue to be a good boy.
That makes
that makes me think about, and I'm gonna share a little story. But audience, I said I was gonna ask you guys, what do you think? What would you share with him? How would you tell him to go to his wife and tell him that he feels neglected or more time? You said you should always say thank you for sharing that. I remember one time
Story time.
you
Story
was,
time.
we was going together.
We weren't going together.
We was going together.
No, we weren't. We weren't going together.
And
Hi.
you had this confession moment.
Why you got to
I've
do
been out
this?
here slipping and dipping and hitting and spitting. And
I didn't do that.
I've been out here in the streets and everything like that. I just want to come clean, you know. I just and I never said thank you for sharing. I never.
How was I doing it though?
Thank you.
What was I did not do what you just
You know,
said.
I've been out here in these streets. I just want to come clean. I'm tired of living like this. You know, it's hard out here to be living. Living like this out here in these streets. I don't even want to live like that no more. I just,
was a simp then, right?
not to me. I just didn't know to say thank you.
I didn't say it like that. You remember that time when I told you when you tried to clown me to buy why everybody want love?
Oh. This old girl had hit him up and told him that she was in love with him. And I think I had probably said it the same week or something like that, about 3 days after him. It broke that brother down. He was like, I'm just out here. Why everybody just gotta be loving me?
I did not do that. I did not do that.
Why everybody gotta just be loving me? That should be a song. I've been loving you a little too long. I'm sorry.
You know, you ain't got good sense. I did say it like that, y'all.
How you say it, baby?
I was like, you know, I was like this, you know. No, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. You notice I'm hard now.
Yeah.
I was saying it. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. You know, people get feelings. You know, that wasn't my intention, though.
Tee-hee. You got to throw that in.
I ain't no tea.
You cried, Kenny.
I did not cry.
Kenny.
I did not cry. I might have cried for hurting
Step
you
2.
one day.
No, you cried on that day.
No, I didn't. I don't remember crying. I ain't never cried.
Why they loving me? You cried. He did Lenny Williams. Oh. I'm sorry.
All right, what's the story? What was talking about here? All right, get it back
Step
to
2. Okay, yeah. What else?
What I said, number 1, I said you got to tell him what you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, what you have to do is praise him for something he says.
Okay, but then you were saying for him, what he has to do is to be willing to say it.
He has to be willing to say it.
And then what next for him?
All right, for him is when he says it. Here's what I want you to do:
Mm-hmm.
is first give himself permission to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says it, but the way he says it is this.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what I'm about to say. If I come to you and say, I want to tell you something, but I'm not sure how, and it has nothing to do, because a lot of people think, oh, you cheated. No. You know, I'm afraid there's something I want to share with you, but I don't know how to say it because I'm not used to sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Admit where he is. What that does is...
What does that look like, though? It's like, give me
So
an
I'm saying,
example.
like for me and you, I might tell you, so I might say, you know, I want to share something with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not sure how to say it. Or I don't really want to say it because I don't normally share these things with you.
Okay.
Okay. But here's what I was thinking. Why do I do that? I'm telling you in the beginning that it's difficult for me to do what I'm about to do.
Mm.
So you will give me grace as I'm trying to do it.
Do you hear that, ladies or gentlemen? When someone shares their heart and they're telling you, like, this is really hard for me, that's when you really put that cushion out, kind of like. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, but if I say in advance it's difficult for me, automatically you give me grace and you don't even know you did.
Mm.
So what I'm saying is don't wait for them to give you grace. Set the stage where their inclination,
set the stage.
their
I like
mind gives you grace. Because think about when our kids say something is hard, we give them grace already to say, okay, we know it's going to be hard. It ain't going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But we want them to go through with it.
Right.
Same thing happens to human beings in their mind. Adults. That's all I did was set the stage. That's it.
Okay. So once you share your heart.
Now, I got to give you one to the person who's listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you have to do to create a safe space. Oh, this is a biggie. A biggie. You cannot weaponize what they tell you.
That is so big. That's so
So
important.
if a person tells you something, you be like, yeah, that's why your mama used to steal. And they just told you about their childhood,
Mm-hmm.
about what their mom used to do and why they are the way they are. And you bring it up when you get mad. Boy, then what you do is you shut the door on his emotions. He ain't gonna ever come back.
That is,
If you weaponize, how many of y'all done got mad? How many of y'all listening to me have gotten mad when things wasn't good? He shared something with you, and you brought it up during that moment of argument.
I'd like for us to be honest. Put me in the chat. Like if you, I don't think I'm guilty of that.
I can't ever remember you doing that.
I'm not guilty of that.
I can't remember you ever doing that.
Like I'm guilty of some stuff.
Now you
but
guilty of some shit. Now let's not. I don't want to act like you ain't guilty.
You ain't got it. Wait,
you
hey,
guilty
back up,
you
pump your
guilty as
brakes,
hell
pull it back.
of a lot of things.
Emergency
but
brake,
you're
let's
not
pull it
guilty.
up.
About you talking about I'm crying like Lenny Williams. You
Hey.
guilty of lying on me.
No.
But you've never, that I can recall, weaponized something I've told you.
Yeah.
Never. And that is why I'm willing to share anything with you. Because I know if I tell you something, I ain't got to see that dagger coming back in my back or in my chest.
Yes. That's I think that's probably something that we take for granted because we don't have to deal with that in the relationship. But I would imagine that being hard. Hard to share, hard to talk about anything. You would have to walk on eggshells to, especially when you're in a moment, to think that it will come back.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's so very true. Now let me ask you this. Women say, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
They say they just want a man to talk. Like, just tell me the truth. I just want you to talk. Just communicate with me, right? And the man tell you the truth. You want him to communicate with you.
Yeah.
But he tell you the truth that, whatever that might be.
Right.
That something he's not getting. Like this man right here. He's not getting the attention that he wants, right? But he tells you. And the first thing a lot of women do is victimize themselves.
Because okay, let's just say if you came to me, that's just like when I came to you and I said, I like, you to shut work down a little early sometimes. To you, it was a shock because you felt like, I'm giving you this amount of time and this amount of time and this amount of time. And so even though we want you to be honest and we want you to share, not to victimize you, but I can't say that I'm not going to be upset by what you share or your honesty. I can't tell you that I'm not going to have some type of emotion tied to that.
You can't tell me you ain't going to turn around and make yourself the victim after I tell you? Because you want the truth.
I try not to make myself the victim. I don't think that's something that I do, but it could.
Oh, something got in my eye.
My fist is about to be what it is.
Some got in my eye.
Like
allergies.
2-piece without a biscuit.
Allergies right this bitch.
Do I do that?
Do you do what?
What you just said.
Do you do what? Say it. Say it.
I don't want to say
Say it. Say it. Say it. Do you do what?
Bringing stuff. I don't do that.
No, of course not, honey. You don't do it.
Do I do
she
it?
done forgot what it was we
What
were
is
saying.
it? Tell me.
I don't know.
You don't know either.
I don't know. Whatever it was.
I do it. Whatever it is, I did. That's so bad.
Doing.
What was the question?
That's a senior moment right there. Both our ass that forgot. Taylor, what was we talking about? Taylor don't know. They don't know. But what? Hey.
Being a victim.
Yeah.
I play the victim.
You know, you said that I played the victim the other day. Remember when we got into that little riff?
You did play the victim.
I did. I ain't gonna even lie. I did. I admit it.
God,
I
he
played the
victim
victim
so good. I'm like, what?
Hey, look.
How he turned this around? You know that song, Turning Around for Me. You turned it around on me. You are good for that, boy.
No, just that day. Just that day.
Man, you did it so well that day. I mean, it couldn't have been something that just started.
I'm a communications coach, I mean, so
like,
I do know what to do.
You did it so well, I started sweating today.
I see you beating up. It made you beat up, didn't it? Mm. Hey, all right. But I want to ask you this, though.
Yes.
Should a person, and we can end on this, but we ain't got to end, but we going to end. But I want to ask you this. When you ask for the truth, and the man wants to give you the truth, not about cheating or anything like that, but like about something maybe you're not doing, and you say, just tell me the truth. How should he proceed with that? How should the man proceed?
With caution.
Shit.
Because it depends on what it is. You know, it just depends on what it is.
Well, why ask him if you don't want to know?
I'm just saying, you come here talking about, oh gosh, I'm hot. You making me sweat. It just depends on what it is.
Is this like a hot flash happening in real time?
In real time.
Y'all see she beat it up.
I am.
She's shining like some chicken, like some glazed over chicken. Baby, hey, go ahead. So
blow on me.
How should we proceed, baby? How should we proceed?
And you said,
I'm just asking, how should we proceed? No, baby, I should shut up because you just it's bees.
Okay, so what was your question? Because like hot flashes make you forget stuff.
I was just asking, when you ask a man, because like this man here, she may want him to tell the truth. He feels neglected. He feels that he's not valued. He loves his family.
So how should he say that?
No, I'm asking you, how should a man, not just him, but any man, when a woman says, just tell me the truth, how should he proceed?
I think if he does it without accusing her, like when you feel attacked, it's all in how you deliver stuff. When you feel attacked, you're gonna automatically swing back. You say, tell me, what is it that you need to say? Well, you don't never come in the house, you come in here, you don't, and then last Friday, you and Bertha were down there at the doggone bingo house, then you came in, and then I didn't even have no dinner, like that's, like a person feels attacked, but I'm just saying, you asked me. And so what I feel like is what Ken says, honey, can we talk? I know you like to go play bingo on Friday evenings with Bertha, but I would love if, there could be a little dinner made, right before you leave. Stay out as long as you want to with Bertha, but I'll be hungry when I get home from work. That's not accusing.
You're pretty good. You done got pretty good at that.
Hey, my
you done
Coach
got pretty
Ken.
good. You done got pretty
BCC.
good. The show is sponsored by the Pocket Communication Coach. When you want to say it, but don't know how. All right, so this is good though. Give me a card, y'all. I will say this in parting thoughts to him. He gotta be willing to say it because give himself permission to say it because if he doesn't, he's going to grow more and more resentful. And she ain't gonna even know.
She's not gonna know.
Unless he says it. So let me read the question tonight.
Okay, all right.
Let me read the question. Hold up the game.
These are our cards from our relationship it's our relationship card game.
And
the moment of truth.
This is the sex version.
And this is the original version.
Yeah, get you the combo.
A lot of fun. Summer activities
so let
coming
me see.
up.
You want me to go?
Who earrings are those?
Maddie's.
Oh,
okay. See y'all, this live studio, she like, who earring?
I forgot
our granddaughter's earring.
I just saw some earrings that didn't belong to me, and it just threw me off. I forgot we was live. Isn't this something? Isn't that something? I totally forgot. Listen.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, all right. You're really horny
Mm.
and about to have sex with someone who laughs when they see you naked. You would A, ask them to stop. B, ask them to stop laughing, then continue. B, stop immediately and leave. C, ignore it and get on with it. Or D, find a flaw in them and talk about it.
I'm wrapping up all my shit. I'm going. Nigga, you laughing, nigga. Listen, I'm out of here. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. It's a wrap. That was B. I'm gone. What you laughing at? What you fuck?
If you laugh at me, hold on. I'm going to ignore that and I'm going to go, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? That's what I would do. So, okay. So
you would just go on and keep on pounding.
Carolina Panthers, they got a little things that keep pounding. That's their motto, keep pounding. That's what we'll do, keep pounding.
Wow.
All right.
What would you do, audience? Did you forget? A was you're about to have sex and the person laughs. A, you would ignore it.
Now, A, ask them to stop laughing. And then continue.
Mm-hmm.
B, stop immediately and leave.
Mm-hmm.
C, ignore it and get it on.
Mm-hmm.
Or D, find a flaw in them and talk about them.
What would you do, audience? A, B, C, or D? Look, thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight. Ken, give us a little bit more about the sponsor before we get out of
Sponsor
here.
is Pocket Communication Coach. We keep saying it because y'all know y'all need to communicate better. Go to pocketcommunicationcoach.com. Download it. Try it out. Let us know what you think. All right? That's
and
it.
Until next Thursday, we're the Grand Canions, and we are out.